Would you be mine? Edith, this is my sister.
I don't think she's the right choice.
You have to trust me.
Thomas, your bride is frozen.
I'll run you a hot bath.
¿Habla usted muy bien español?
Ay, muchas gracias.
¿Dónde lo aprendió?
En Bulgaria.
¡Wow!
Sí, fui en un colegio de español por
Mira
5
nomás,
años.
sí.
Pero creo que será más fácil
En inglés, sí, por favor.
Sí, gracias. Okay, so please tell me, how did you come up with this idea of this amazing story that, throughout the whole story, you just never know what's going to happen.
Oh,
It
thank
just
you.
keeps surprising you.
Well, it's in a way a simple story told in a very complicated way. The story, you can either guess it from the beginning and think, oh, I know, but it doesn't make a difference. What is great, I think, is the process of discovery of Edith. I mean, Edith is a very strong female character, but mostly because she never gives up. She keeps investigating. She starts putting the pieces together. And what looks like an ideal love story in the beginning turns into a bit of a nightmare. And that was the point. I wanted most of the romances end in a marriage. And this is a gothic romance, which is a combination of sort of horrific elements and romantic elements. And I said, let the horror start with the marriage as opposed to end with the marriage, And so she goes through what happens to most people. You marry someone, and then you discover the truth. Oh, this is the person I married.
Yeah.
So that's the story, but much bigger.
How about the cast? Was Tom, Jessica, and Mia the people that you envisioned for this?
Well, for a while we had, for example, Benedict Cumberbatch for the role of Tom, and we had Emma Stone for the role of Mia. But I think that we were blessed with a change, and because I think Tom brings more vulnerability and sort of a relatable humanity to the character, and Mia brings a very different type of strength. I wanted a very American character, but I think Mia brings a more quiet, reflective strength to the character.
You tell such varied stories, so diverse from each other. Tell me more about your way as a filmmaker. I've always been very interested in that, just because you're somebody who embodies so many different aspects.
Yes. Well, what I like is to keep myself entertained. So I like to make a giant movie about giant robots and monsters and then do a small movie. I mean, I like to vary, and it's because I think when people come to my house and they go through all my collection of stuff, they realize I love many, many things. Victorian horror, giant monsters. And what I try to do is I try to only make movies that I absolutely love. Like they say in Scarface, I get high on my own supply. So I'm not ironic or postmodern. I make movies with an absolute crazy passion and put all the attention I can.
Who was the person who helped you to transition to Hollywood?
It was actually accidental, because when I did my first movie, it was called Kronos, and I personally took a loan of $250,000 at age 28, and I had no way of paying it. So suddenly they called from Hollywood. They called me at Universal Studios, and I went and I met, and they said, we would like you to write a screenplay for us. And they said, how much? I said, how much do you pay? And they told me, and it was a lot. And I said, oh, I'm going to write this for, and then I fell in love with the project. But I didn't plan it. I didn't go, I want to go to Hollywood. I would have been very happy staying in Mexico doing weird Mexican movies.
That's a pretty serious bet on yourself.
Yeah, it was. Well, I was with my wife in the house, and I said to her, I'm going to mortgage the house to get the money. And I said, I can't live in this house if I know I could have made the movie and I didn't. And she said, go and do it. We'll live in a little apartment. I don't care. And that's why 30 years later, we're still married.
And what do you guys do outside your work? What do you enjoy doing with your family?
You know, we love traveling. I mean, I do. I don't know if they travel with me. I don't know. I'm going to ask them if they like it. But we love traveling. We love discussing. For example, my two kids are very artistic, and we love geeking out and talking about art and comics and animation, watching animation. We love it.
¿Quiere usted probar algo en búlgaro?
Sí,
Decir
cómo
algo en
no,
búlgaro.
sí, dígame.
Zdrasti.
Zdrasti.
Благодаря. Zdrasti.
Zdrasti.
Hola. Es hola.
Zdrasti.
Katonakino.
Oh, zdrasti katonakino.
Muchas gracias.
Zdrasti katonakino, Guillermo Del Toro.
Ay, muchísimas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias a usted, oiga. Igual.
Do we have to do this? Must we?
Yes. You have no idea what they do.
What do you want?